we will start with just a quick recap what we did yesterday. I hope everyone has their notebook with them. Today, each and every point you have to write down in your notebook. Okay, I'm repeating again one instruction. I'm recording this video. If your connectivity is not good, you will get the video in the evening. Okay, so I'm using LAN internet from my end. There will be no problem. But if you have any connectivity problem, you just write down the query and message me that query in the afternoon personally on my WhatsApp. Okay. Okay, so PHP is nothing but hypertext preprocessor. That day I've said you that there are two things. Okay, one is the front end, and second thing is the back end. Is any example about front end? I've given you that day examples for front end. So examples of front end are nothing but HTML, okay, that we have already studied in the last semester, okay. Then one more thing we have JS. JS is nothing but JavaScript. We have HTML. Then we have JS. JS is nothing but JavaScript. Then we have JQ. JQ is nothing but Java query. Now remember one thing, Java and JavaScript is totally different. Okay. In next semester, in the third year, you will study about Java, but that Java and this JavaScript is totally different. Okay. Again, we have Java query. This you will study in next semester. What is Java query? Then we have backend. That they have given you examples of backend. What is backend? Last semester, we have studied backend. Okay, so the best example for backend is nothing but your Oracle 10G. Okay, Oracle 10G is the best example. If you have heard about my CQL, okay, many people call this as my SQL, but the pronunciation according to the industry point of view, so it is my CQL. Okay, then we have one more, that is MySQL plus. Okay, so these are nothing but the examples of backend. Okay, now that day one more thing I've said you, that is agent. Okay, we have one more thing, that is agent. Now agent is nothing but my PHP. Okay, agent is nothing but my PHP. Okay, so PHP is nothing but it acts as an agent between your front end and back end. You have studied front end in your first year, you have studied HTML, you have studied Oracle 10G. But in this semester, how to process data from front end to back end using PHP, we will learn in this semester. So that's why in first year, they have given in the syllabus as HTML and Oracle. Now in this semester, we will study how this PHP will work, how it takes the data from the front end and it stores the data in backend. Front end and it stores the data from the back end. I want everyone to draw this diagram because this diagram is very much important if anyone asks you what is the basic syntax or the architecture of PHP. So you can give this one. it takes the input from the front end and it stores the data in the back end. Yes, everyone have wrote down this diagram. Students are writing, I'm not audible. Okay, those who are not able to hear me, please don't worry. The same video I will share on the YouTube. Okay, please wrote down this diagram in your notebook. If you have done, please say yes. Laiba, is it visible? Okay, done, everyone? Okay. Now we will require one server. Okay, we will require one server to install the PHP. Okay, without server, we cannot run our PHP program. So we will need one server. That day I've given you the name of servers. Okay, anyone can tell what were the name of servers that day I have given you?
SAM server.
XAM, it is XAM server. Okay, so we will use XAM server. Okay, so write down the steps how to install XAM server. Okay, now this procedure is very much important to all of you. So I hope everyone will write down the steps how to install XAM server. Okay, now first thing, step number one, we have to check whether your operating system is 32-bit or 64-bit. Okay, you have to check whether your operating system is 32-bit or 64-bit. So how to check whether your operating system is 32-bit or 64-bit? You have to just go to my computer. Okay, right click on your my computer and click on properties. Okay, when you click on properties, here you can see the system type. Okay, here you can see the system type. Now my system is 64-bit operating system. Okay, your might be 32-bit. Okay, there are only two options, 32-bit, 64-bit. Okay, the latest one is 86-bit. Okay, so my operating system is 84-bit. So everyone understood how to check your operating system is 32-bit or 64-bit? Yes, you can type in chat. Everyone understood how to check your operating system is 32-bit or 64-bit? Okay, very good. Okay, now the next step is this, that you have to go to your Google Chrome. Go to your Google Chrome and in Google search, just type XAM download. Okay, you have to just type XAM download. Okay, now you have to write whether your system is 32-bit or 64-bit. For example, I write XAM download for 32-bit. Okay, 32-bit and your operating system, whether it is Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 8, that you have to mention. Okay, now my operating system is Windows 7 and it is for 64-bit. Okay, so I just write XAM download for 64-bit and my it is Windows 7. Okay, now see, you will see the first site as download XAM. Okay, click on download XAM. Is it clear till here how to open download XAMPP? You can type in chat. Okay, very good, great. So you have to download XAMPP. Okay, so I will write second step. Okay, now step number three. Step number three is we have to install XAMPP. We have to install XAMPP. Okay. So see, there are three versions that I can see on my screen. We have 7.2.31, 19, and 7.4.7. So what is my suggestion? That you select the last one, because this is the latest version of XAMPP and it will include all the features that the two versions will not have. Okay. So select the third version because this will consist of all the features. Okay. So my request is that download this one. Okay. Now I've already downloaded this XAMPP on my PC. So it will just look like this. After downloading, the setup will look like this. XAMPP Windows 64-bit. Okay. After downloading, you can see the setup will look like this. Okay. Now it is for 64-bit. So the symbol is like this. If it is your 32-bit, the symbol might be different. Okay. Is it clear till here? You can type in chat whether it is clear to you. Okay, very good. Great. Okay, now I will install. So just double click on this. Click on yes. Okay, click on next. Now see, remember one thing, this is very much important thing. You have to check all the, you have to tick all the check boxes. Okay, do not untick any checkbox from this option. You have to tick all the checkbox. Okay, and press on next and you will install the software. I have already installed, so I will not click on next, but you install the entire software. Okay, is it clear till here? Okay, very good, great. Okay, now how to check whether your XAMPP is installed or not? Okay, so you can just go to your start. Okay, and in search you can write XAMPP. Okay, as soon as you write XAMPP, here you can see the first option called as XAMPP control panel. Is it visible to everyone? You have to click on XAMPP control panel. Okay, I will write down the steps for you. Install XAMPP. Step number 4. Open XAMPP control panel. Okay, step number 1, you have to check your operating system, whether it is 32-bit or 64-bit. Second step, download XAMPP from Google Chrome. Okay, step number 3, install XAMPP. Okay, here you have to tick all the checkbox. Okay, you have to tick all the checkbox. Okay, after installation, you have to open XAMPP control panel. Okay, after opening the XAMPP control panel, it will look like this. Okay, this is my XAMPP control panel. Okay, now you have to start services of two things, that is Apache and MySQL. So I just click on start of Apache and MySQL. Okay, MySQL. So you have to start services of two things, that is Apache and MySQL. Okay, now see students, this is my 64-bit operating system. So there is no problem of starting these two services. But if you are using 32-bit operating system, so this services might not start because in your computer already you have installed Oracle 10G. Okay, Oracle 10G and Apache cannot work together. So for this, you have to stop the services of Oracle. Okay, you have to stop the services of Oracle 10G. So from where to stop? see this side, you have an option called as services. See my right hand side, you can see the option called as services. Just click on that service. Now this box will open. Scroll down your mouse and go till Oracle. Now see, from here my Oracle starts. From here my Oracle starts. So you have to just right click and you have to stop the services of Oracle. Okay, those who are using 64-bit operating system, they will not face any problem. But those who are using 32-bit operating system, they might face this problem. So you have to stop the services of only Oracle. Okay, wherever you see Oracle, it starts from here and it ends here. Okay, now this is started. So you have to just right click and you have to click on stop. Okay, click on stop and then you start the services. Your services will be started. Okay, is it clear till here to everyone? Okay, very good, great. Okay, someone wrote what is Apache. So Apache is nothing but it is a server. Okay, Apache is a server. Apache Tomcat is a server. So that you will learn in next semester in detail. Right now, just remember one thing, that you have to start the services of two things, that is Apache and MySQL. Okay. Now, how to check whether your XAMPP services is started or not? Okay. Here you have started the services. Okay. But again, you have to check whether your XAMPP services is started or not. So just go to your Google Chrome. Go in Google Chrome. Okay. Here in the URL, just type http colon double slash and type localhost. Okay, you have to type http colon double slash localhost and press enter. Okay, after pressing enter, if you see this web page, okay, that is XAMPP Apache, okay, that means your XAMPP is successfully installed. Okay, if you don't get this page, that means there are some errors in your computer. Okay, so this page should appear, that means your XAMPP is successfully installed. I will just write down the steps. Okay, we have started. Start services of Apache and SQL. Okay, we have to start services of Apache and SQL. Step number 6, we have to open browser. Click on URL and type. Okay, that is my last step. Open browser, click on URL and type http colon double slash localhost. Everyone please note down the steps in your notebook, because if you don't note down in your book and if you try the steps tomorrow, you will not able to do. Okay, so write down the steps one by one. You have to type http colon double slash localhost on your URL. Is it clear till here? You can type. Okay, someone has written how to solve port problem. Okay, so if you have port problem, basically it will not give you port problem, but if it is giving you port problem, okay, so here you can, okay, for MySQL, you just click on config and here you have one file that is my.ini. When you click on this file, here you can see the port. Okay, from here you can change your port. Now it is 3306. You can change to 8888 100 1000. You can type the port here. Okay, so that will solve your error. Is it clear till here? Please reply me in the chat box. Very good. Great. Okay. So today assignment is this, that you have to install XAMPP in your computer. Okay. I've given you steps. Okay. If anyone has missed anything, the same video I will post on the YouTube channel. Okay. I will send you the link. You have to see the video and you can follow the steps. Okay. Now we have started with the services. Okay. We have installed XAMPP successfully. Okay. Is there anyone who has not written the steps? So please write down the steps or you can take a screenshot. Okay, done? Okay, very good. Great. Dynamic students, all have done. Okay. So we have done with the front end, we have done with the back end, we have installed XAMPP server. Okay. Now we will require a editor. Okay. We will require an editor to write the code for PHP. Okay. So the editor that we will be using is, we have to use the editor. Editor is nothing but my, okay, Visual Code. Yes, Suraj, my screen is visible. Okay, great. Now we have to install Visual Studio Code. So I've just clicked on the browser as Visual Studio Code. You have to download from here. Okay. This is the website that you have to click, Visual Studio Code. Okay. And there is an option called as download Visual Studio Code. Click here. We have to download for Windows. Again, it depends upon your operating system, whether it is 64-bit or 32-bit. So my operating system is 64-bit. I've downloaded this software. Okay, now I will install this software. Okay, till it gets installed, I will write down the steps for you. Okay, it is getting started. Just click on I accept the agreement, click on next. It will ask the location where I have to install. Again, you can give the C location, that will be good for you. Click on next. Okay, if you want to create a folder and start menu, if you don't want to create, then click on this. If you want to create, don't click on this. Okay, just click next. Okay, create desktop icon. Okay, click all this. Again, you have to check all this checkbox, tick all the checkbox, click on next and click install. Okay, click on finish. Now this is my Visual Studio Code. Okay, I will write down the steps for you people. Okay, step number 1, open your Google Chrome. Step number 2, Okay, type Visual Studio Code in the search bar. Click on download. Click on download for Windows. I will write down in the bracket whether 32-bit or 64-bit. Okay. Step number 4, install your software. Okay, you have to install the software with all the options should be checked. Okay, so these are the basic steps to download Visual Studio Code. We have downloaded the server and now we will require the editor. Okay, we will require the text editor. So my Visual Studio Code is my text editor. Okay, now I have installed my software. It will look like this. Okay, now it is a black theme. If you want to change the theme, you can go to the settings. See at the left hand side, you can see settings. Just click on settings, click on color theme, and you can take a light theme. Okay, you can take a light theme, that is also okay. So this is nothing but my dashboard of my Visual Studio Code. Okay, is it clear to everyone till here?